inter-process communication. Okay. To introduce the notion of a process, to describe various features, to explore inter-process communication, to describe communication in a client-server system. Okay. An operating system executes a variety of programs. Kalau dalam batch system, we call it jobs. If it's in a time-shared system, we call it user program or task. What is a job? So in a batch system, as you remember, batch system runs on a specific or it collects specific jobs to run or specific processes. It only runs at a certain point of time. At the end of the month, early of the month, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So each process in batch operating system is called a job. So a job is the same meaning as a process in a batch system. Okay, all right. Let me explain to you again. In your normal laptop, in your normal personal computer, each process or each program that you open is called a process. For example, kalau you buka Microsoft Word, you buka document, now that's a process. You buka Excel, you buka sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, that's a process. You download a song or you listen to a song from YouTube, that's a process. You watch movies, that's a process. Okay? But in a batch operating system, okay, you run a program and that particular program is called, or that particular program has a few jobs. There's a few jobs. Okay, the word differs. In a time-sharing system, time-sharing system apa? Each process has a certain given time. 10 minit, 20 minit, 1 hour. So each time, dalam satu masa, a few processes will run. Example, user number 1, you are given 1 hour to run as many processes as you want. So semua proses yang user 1 runs is what we say as a task. It's still a program, it's still a process, tetapi the word has now changed into a task. Okay, so textbook uses the term job and process almost interchangeably. So, but in operating system, we use it in different types of operating system. In a normal operating system, a personal computer operating system, Windows operating system, a process is called a program in execution. Program execution must progress in a sequential fashion. Okay, so a process is a program dalam execution. Example of a program, PowerPoint. Double click on it, it now becomes a process. Ada execution dia. Sebelum PowerPoint itu keluar on your screen, you can see the files being read. So now that's a process. Okay, you open your Word slide number 1, you save, you delete. So now that's a process. And a process execution is done in a sequence fashion. Sequence means one after another. Daripada user click on that particular program until it appears on the screen, it's a sequential manner, one after another. Okay, so there are a few codes yang the program has to open, and when it opens, it's done in a sequential manner. Okay, there the text there, there the program counter there, there's stack, there the data section, there the heap. Okay, so these are parts of the program code that run the process. Okay, so again, a program is a passive entity stored on a disk, executable file. File exe, now that's a program. You double click on it, that program becomes a process, and a process is an active entity. Okay, program becomes process when executable file loaded into memory. Okay, so word.exe, once it's loaded inside the RAM, now that file or that program becomes a process. Execution of program started via GUI mouse clicks command line entry of its name. I mean, there are two ways you can run a particular program. One is you double click on it. Another one you use the command line interface or command line interpreter. Okay, you type its name. Kalau dalam GUI, double click word, buka. Okay. Kalau dalam command line entry or command line interface, we have to type in open word baru buka. One program can have several processes. Satu program can have several processes. One program, several processes. One Word document, several documents. Betul tak? Microsoft Word, dalam tu ada document 1, dalam tu ada document 2, dalam tu ada document 3. It's all talking about the same particular process. Okay? Same one program. Program dia ialah Microsoft Word. Proses dia ialah document 1, document 2, document 3, 4. So this is how the process in memory looks like. So this is a picture of a memory, and these are all related to the process. These are all file yang related to the particular process. Okay, so a process in operating system has a few types of states. State, the condition. It's a process, tetapi what is the state? The example kalau dalam kereta tadi, the process is running, which is the engine is running. But that does not mean the car is moving. The car can be idle. The car can be idle, tapi engine is still running. Okay, but it's not doing anything. It's waiting for something to happen. What do we say when we mean by idle? Idle means, that means the car is just waiting for something to happen. Either user masuk, tekan D, terus jalan, or user masuk, terus off engine, pun something juga. But the car is ready. Siap sedia untuk menerima arahan. So in a program, okay, when a program becomes a process, it goes through several states, several conditions. So the first state of a process is new. Okay, new. So new meaning it's masih dalam it's process. Sorry, it's a jenis program baru nak create process. So it admits this new particular process inside the ready state. So ready ni dalam memory. The ready is always inside the memory. Okay? So this is inside the memory. So tulis M kat sini. So semua file, all the important files for that particular process to run, it's now stored inside the ready queue, ready queue, or which is inside the memory. Once the CPU, this is the CPU, says, okay, I am free, now the data from the ready will go into the running. And this is where the process is being executed. Okay, is being executed. So dalam satu kereta tu, kalau kita balik pada example kereta, the idle state is the ready state. That means the car is ready for instructions. The car is ready to get whatever input and do whatever input wants. Okay, so now the car is moving. So when the car moves, the car is running. Okay, the car is running. Okay, next we can also have, you can go back to waiting. The car can also be idle back again. Jalan-jalan sampai traffic light, dia idle back again. So the car is now waiting and it can go back to ready. Okay, waiting and ready. Okay. Or it can go to terminate. Terminate meaning the process is done. Habis. Halas. Habis dah. Okay. So this ready state is inside memory. This waiting state is also inside the memory. This running state is inside the CPU. Okay. And this new and terminate state is inside your hard disk. This is where the program is kept. each program is kept inside the hard disk. When the user clicks on it, now it will change from your hard disk into the memory. Okay, so each process have different kind of notification. Dia ada process state, dia ada process number, dia ada process counter, dia ada registers, dia ada memory, dia ada list of file. You have to remember each process is different, walaupun each process comes from the same program. Example, program equals to Microsoft Word, tetapi process equals to document 1, process equals to document 2, process equals to document 3. So each of these processes are different because you're doing different things. So again, each process is known differently. So each process has something called process control block, PCB. So apa yang dalam PCB ni, dia ada state dia ada counter dia ada CPU registers dia. All these information are kept inside the PCB. So who will create this PCB? The operating system will create this PCB. Why is this PCB important? This PCB is important to differentiate each particular process. Each particular document is different. Walaupun contents dia sama, tapi location dia berbeza. File name dia berbeza. Oh, cakap saya Ingin pula. Okay. Each of this is different. Document 1 is different, document 2 is different, document 3 is different. Okay. We can also have a state whereby a process is interrupted with another process. A process is interrupted with another process. Example, macam ni. You are doing document 1, Microsoft Word, and then you do a print. You print. You print and then you continue back to your Word document process. Suddenly, printer habis ink. When the printer finishes the ink, it will signal back. It will signal back to the personal computer, and the operating system will look into this matter and signal balik kepada proses tersebut. Okay, will signal balik kepada program tersebut. Cakap ya, printer tu habis ink. Okay, so it will signal balik is called, it will re-interrupt. It will interrupt back. When it interrupts back to the process, interrupt is the, okay, printer is a process, printing is a process. Microsoft Word tu sendiri, document 1 is a process. So when the printer interrupts this particular process, it will be, the process will stop and execute yang printer tu. Apa masalah printer tu? Oh, printer habis paper. Okay, so you masukkan paper, tekan OK, barulah printing jalan, and automatically the new process will continue. Okay, example. So this is where process Microsoft Word is happening. Okay, so suddenly at this point of time, okay, this point of time, process 1 is executed, interrupts. So when process 1 interrupts, then this process will stop, and again, once it's finished, then PCB 0 will reload balik to the basic. You have to remember, in the processor can only run one process at one given point in time. Okay, although it's, you can say, yeah, what do you say? The operating system can run multiple process, tetapi each process is so fast that you perasan, you nampak macam you tak nampak satu proses, tapi actually the process can only run, the operating system or the personal computer can only run one process, tapi so each process is fast, so you tak nampak. Okay, so next we go into thread. What is thread pula? Okay, so far a process has a single thread. Okay, faham? So now we have understood a program itu apa, a process itu apa. Tetapi dalam satu proses ada thread. A thread is a separate flow of execution. This means that your program will have two things happening at once. Consider multiple program counters per process. must have storage thread. Okay, so what does that thread mean? A thread means inside a process. Okay, so saya ulang balik Program equals to Microsoft Word. Document 1 equals to process 1. Document 2 equals to process 2. Document 3 equals to process 3. Okay, senang nak faham. A thread means dalam proses satu, there is also another process or another separate execution which is called a thread. Okay, a thread. Thread ni macam save, macam copy, paste. Okay, these are types of processes within a process. Okay, because each document you can do copy and paste dalam document 1, you can do copy and paste dalam document 2, you can do copy and paste dalam document 3. Tetapi ketiga-tiganya, although it's the same process, but it takes in different types of data. So that is why the operating system creates a thread. Each thread is different, or multiple threads are different based on the type of process. So each process will have a thread. Each process. It can be a single thread or it can be a multiple thread. What are threads? So dalam document 1 ni kita katakan tadi ialah satu proses. So when you do a file, open, file, save, when you do a print, so these are, walaupun it's called a function, these are threads. Processes within a process. Okay. Alright, so today we will stop at 3.2. Okay, 3.2 because I have a meeting with my student lain pula hari ni. Sorry. So we will stop at 3.2. We will continue back 3.2 in the next class. 3.2. Yes, 3.2 in the next class. Because it's too much of theory. Kalau saya continue on theory all the way, it's going to be very difficult. Okay. So sorry about your attendance today morning. Sampai sekarang ni baru 52 orang. So kurang 5 orang. Okay, kurang 5 orang. It's okay. I'm not very particular about attendance, tapi kalau you tak datang, saya akan just cancel out your name. Don't worry. Okay. Again, my class starts sharp 9 o'clock. So if you come in late, you just have to wait 2 jam. Alright. Okay. Akmal ada soalan? Akmal 3A, 3B ada soalan? Sophia, do you have any questions? I only remember a few names. Amira, Aisyah, Hasrul.
No, sir.
Nurul Shakira.
No questions, sir.
Intan Sorfina. Nadira, Amira, Aida, Amira Izzati, Nur Haida.
No questions, sir.
All right, I see you when I see you in the next class. Thank you so much for listening.